Hey YouTube, Doug Wallman. Today's video is going to be about my first UAP or UFO experience. It's from back in 2017. And it's not very sensational or glamorous, but it is something I experienced. Back then I wasn't into YouTube quite as much. I think I did make videos back then though. I did, but I wasn't going to share my UFO experience. Let me get up here a little closer. But what I did do is I wrote an account of it on my Facebook page, and I'm going to go ahead and read it. I had thought I had lost this post, actually. It took me some effort to find it a while back, like earlier this year. But anyway, no further ado. I'm just going to read the account. I hear sirens. That should make it more interesting. Just a tiny bit of backdrop. I had been at the end of a photo shoot out in a place called Bridal Falls in the Black Hills area. And I was heading back home, and I was tired, I admit that. But I wasn't imagining anything as far as the physical things I was seeing. Now, what could be imagined by anybody is the context, it can be misunderstood. I know that. So I'm admitting right up front, we don't know our surroundings all the time in the dark. But I'll go ahead and read the account. Lovely siren. Doug Wallman, June 20th, 2017, but that's just when I documented this. Should I wait for that siren? No, it'll just add to the story, I guess. So when I took that photo of Bridal Falls, and I'll go ahead and show that photo right here. So when I took that photo of Bridal Falls on 5/13/17, that'd be May 13th, I left to go back to Rapid City. I was moving along in my car, and I seen something weird that looked like a blob of light that was moving in the sky. I wish I could tell this kind of like in just personal you and me, but I kind of have to read it because I really can't relive this very well. So I stop and get my camera ready in a frantic. Probably didn't dial in very good settings, even though my camera is more than capable. But now the object is stationary, and I knew it appeared to be moving before. At the time, I'm not even convinced I'm looking at the same thing I saw before I stopped and got out. So I kind of give up and get back in my car, but still keep an eye out. It appears as though whenever I move, it moves, and whenever I stop, it stops. I know this can't be, so I pretty much have blamed it on a matter of perspective, with me moving relative to it or something. But it did create a funky optical illusion or perspective of sorts. It wasn't the moon. The moon was behind me as I was taking the photo of this thing. I don't actually think it's anything significant. I guess I don't really know. It synced with my movement perfectly, or so it would seem. Like I said, I think it's some perspective issue as it relates to relative motion. Maybe it's just one of those balls hanging from a wire so planes can beware. I'm not sure if they glow at night though, but they probably should. Whatever it is, it kind of does look like a sphere. It does seem to be up too high to be a visibility marker ball. And I do have also, so I'll show, if I haven't shown the photo already, which I probably have already, I'll show it right here. But then I also have one with a little wider, no, not cropped. This is the non-cropped version of that image right here. And I'll also take a good look at that. I'll also include some coordinates. It's just near Bridal Falls. I roughly could probably go there and take someone where I seen it, but probably not exactly. I'm trying to look at some of the comments I made on Facebook about this. There's lots of comments. I didn't want to mess with the tripod. I was tired and wanted to get home, so I just cranked up the ISO instead. It was at 32,000, which it was a Canon 5D Mark IV, so it could handle, night photography. 1/8 of a second, which is a horrible setting for handheld. But anyway, this gives it more of its surroundings, and I already showed that. So with the relatively high ISO, even though it handles the noise pretty well, and horrible shutter speed, the photo is about the same as those that you'd see on TV. Horribly typical, but maybe just a smudge better if you want to get sensational about it. Which I'm looking at the photo now. It's just that little spherical looking thing in the sky. And yes, there was visibility markers out in that general area, but that would be... Some people are saying that would be pretty high for that. I don't know. Let me go ahead and read this. Yeah, I was looking for that too. I'm not sure what I'm responding to exactly. I just said, call it how you see it, and it was a friend's name. Underneath that, though, it says, yeah, I was looking for that too. I think my friend changed his profile and his comments aren't on here anymore. So that's why I don't know what I'm responding to exactly. I think what he did say, though, is that it's too high for a visibility marker. And said, yeah, I was looking for that too. When I say it appeared to sync perfectly with my movements and stops. I mean every little nuance. It wasn't a reflection on my window. I got out of the car entirely. I also rolled down my window and observed the same. I'm not saying what it is. Doesn't seem likely to be much of anything, but just saying, as this generation would say. Then another friend of mine makes a comment, UFO stalking you. Another person says angel. Still another person says, what direction were you facing on that date? Oh no, what direction were you facing on what date? Date is there, May 13th, 2017. I'm directionally challenged, but it was opposite the moon, so I think I was facing west, not sure. I asked any thoughts. Someone made a post or a link to somewhere. I'm not sure. Not sure if I want to click on that link right now. But and someone says, except it doesn't look like any stars or a planet. No idea, really. And I says, it looked like clumpy scattered light. It looked like clumpy scattered light. On the picture, it looks like a half-lit sphere. Someone says, aliens stalking you. And here's kind of my regret, I suppose. I posted this in response to some stuff, I think. What gets me is I didn't put in... Let me start over. What gets me is I didn't put it on my tripod and take the picture the right way to reduce noise. I just wasn't very convinced at the moment. Still don't know what to think. The picture is a little better than most in my estimation. I think we're talking back in that time frame, because right now there are maybe a little better photos. The picture is a little better than most in my estimation, as my camera still does well in low light, high ISO situations. It would have done far better on a tripod, though, and that's just the kind of stuff I had been doing prior. Because, yeah. I don't know. What do you think? It's kind of just a very vague story. I was driving home. You can tell by this image that it wasn't probably on a tripod. It's not the best. It's pretty noisy, but there was something out there. I don't know what it to me, And reading this did bring back a little bit, but not much of the experience itself, because it was kind of a subjective, surreal experience, and it's hard to remember beyond these words that I wrote, really. It's like, what the heck? And here, yeah, it does look like a half-lit sphere, but in real life, it kind of looked like a blob of light. Don't know what to tell you. I just thought it'd be kind of an opportunistic moment to share this, and it is. But it is something I did experience, like I said. I'll be sure to include all the photos. Although I admit I just downloaded this from Facebook. I don't really want to search for the originals. I'm sure there'd be maybe a touch more resolution, but probably wouldn't really provide that much more for you to look at. I'm still kind of checking it out myself. Well, the original is actually a raw file. Good luck finding any of that right now. Yeah, this could. I'd never know what kind of posts I make are going to be ignored or spark an interest. It was kind of an interesting experience. I won't deny that. I'm still looking at it right now. If you didn't notice, what else can I remember about this? Honestly, I wasn't that excited. I was like, I know I have to take at least a photo of this thing because I'll regret it if I don't. I regret taking a photo and not setting it up on the tripod and dialing it in a little better. But honestly, I was pretty dang tired, almost like I am right now. You have a long day of work, but you want to do some fun, so you get out, shoot some photos. Now, even tonight, I was thinking of going out, but it's actually a winter advisory. The sky is pretty yucky, so if there were drones out, yeah, probably wouldn't be able to catch them very easily. Plus, there's been no reports of those drones out here in my neck of the woods. But then again, if I was to go out, I believe I would have a better chance than most people at seeing something in the night sky. But tonight just seems like pretty much a zero chance. Not saying there wouldn't be, but yeah, it's pretty cold. And sorry, guys, I just wasn't going to go out for nothing. There's a winter advisory. That'd make it all the more interesting, right? But usually it happens when you're not totally ready, even if you do have a camera. I mean, I've seen a bobcat on the road. I had the camera right by him on the driver's seat, but I still wasn't ready. It was a baby bobcat. I'd be surprised in the moment, even with the camera out of the bag, just sitting there on the seat. You're not always ready as much as you think you are. But with that being said, I guess I don't have much more to say about it. You're welcome to share your experiences, no matter how ordinary they kind of get shared from, sort of an ordinary whatever attitude, such as mine, or if you're like, what the heck was? I mean, I still do have some of that going on. It's like, what was that anyway? But I've pretty much let it go. But it's still kind of in the back of my mind. I have better things actually that have happened, but I don't have much of a storytelling presence to me. But we could work on that, I guess. Yeah, I was just driving in my car, minding my own business, getting ready to head back, and that's what happened. I think I do know I was looking out the driver's window, and the moon was that way, like some other direction. And I was like, what is that? And I just kept kind of checking it out. And like I said here, I think I stopped once. I think if I remember reading this right, I wasn't convinced enough and kept driving. Then I finally thought, okay, I'll stop. And all it was this blob in the sky. And I took a picture of it, and you can see what it is there too. Or you can't really see what it is, but it's, for all intents and purposes, like I said, it's just a blob in the sky. And sorry, that's what these images are. We don't know what these things are, okay? But sometimes we don't. But hopefully we'll get down to the bottom of it. This was probably something different than a drone, of course. Unless it was a cluster of drones, I don't know. It didn't really appear to resemble the kind of experiences other people have. Mine seemed to be a little different. Although, like I said, I don't have the exact thing in my brain when I say that it mimicked my movements. Like I know I said that, and I remember saying it, and I kind of remember it happening, but it's so subjective that it's like no other experiences, no other experience was like it. So I don't even know how to re-describe it other than rereading it. Um, Seems like it just had sort of a mimicking my movement going on. That's all I can say. And whether or not that's me reading into it or not, that's totally possible too. Just being honest. But with that being said, I probably better close the video. I think I've dragged it on quite a bit. I hope you did enjoy. Please do remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video. Thank you.